Hello and welcome. This is Constracktion. If you have played Railroads Online or similar games and Derail Valley or similar games, put both of those together, that is kind of what Constraction is. You have this builder train, and that's just your starting device, and you get to lay track. You get to lay track on mountains, through mountains, you get to dig holes, you get to place embankments, you get to connect industries, and there are AI trains that have to figure out where they're going with the track that you laid. It is relatively simple on the controls, but difficult to get right. So let's jump right in. I want to show you what it is like on the tutorial map first, because that's the place it all has to start. This is your device and the UI. If you get annoyed by the UI, there are buttons to turn it off, but right now I'm still relatively new, and you have a lot of hints about everything that you can do, what you need to do, etc., etc. Our machine is a track layer, let's call it that. Right behind it is track that you get to lay in that distance, and if you look down here, you have track lane 1 mile. There's currently 1 mile on here. If you run out of it, you can go purchase some. Right now you have no money, but you could buy 0.1 mile of track for 30k. You can buy 1 minute of super fuel to superpower your track for 30k. You can buy a dirt car for another 30k by track layer price. This guy's 100k worth, and then slow locomotive, etc., etc. All of those things when you need them. Other things, just save slots and some menus, field of view. I set it really high because it makes my life a little easier, but there you go. This is what you get, and then back to our normal thing. It's the Unreal Engine, and I believe Railroads Online was built on the same thing, and you probably see a bunch of similarities. I mostly control everything with my mouse wheel, so I scroll up, I scroll down, it goes away, I scroll up, it turns on. I can also click on the top or the bottom of this thing to give me different outputs. But that's your map to get started. But bunch of things here, we will get into that very quickly, don't worry. When I press Alt, I go in the free roam mode, and if I press Alt again, I have my mouse and I can actually use these things, but also, as you can see, there are a lot of buttons that lets you use everything that's here. And honestly, the controls felt fine. Haven't found anything terribly wrong with that. One very important item is this rail car at the very back. That's the dirt car. The dirt car is shown down here, and you know what? We're just going to get started doing something. So let's jump into the cockpit. There's multiple ways you can play this. I can just hold Alt right now, or press Alt. Then I can power forward, like so, just with a mouse pad or with a click. If that's what I want to do. There are these minimum radius guys. They're important because they control how tight your turns will be when you actually start building track. You have a max grade sitting right here. We are allowing currently 3%. That is fine. The reverser, you can either go forwards or backwards. And then there's some other controls. For example, switch. You see how I'm hovering over this, and there's this thing over here highlighted. When I click this button, once it's not disabled anymore, it actually switches the switch where you want to go. So you have full active control over your switches. I felt like readjusting my camera makes a little bit of sense so you can actually see what the heck is going on. But there you go. So we're riding right now, and if you want, you can see it from the outside. We're going super slow because that is how things work. If you want to go faster, I'm just going to press I on my keyboard. It can go a little faster. It's not a super fast locomotive, which is why you can purchase faster and bigger locomotives down the road, so don't be too worried about that. But this thing is just going. Guess where we're heading? We are currently heading to the end of the line here, and there will be an industry at the very end of that, and you can see that if you just look on the map, we're heading this way, there's an industry there. Cool. That all makes sense. So I'm going to press 2 again so you can actually see what is going to happen when this thing is doing something, because I know that's why you're here for. It's actually relatively simple. So we are here. It's just going to run off the track because it has wheels in the front, and the wheels will go off the track, and then we'll just start laying track. It lays track as fast as you go. There's no downside to this. And it puts some telephone poles right next to you. You can turn those off in the menu. And then you see the red lines in front of us. I'm going to slow down a little bit so you can see this. Those red lines are eventually connecting to that piece of industry over here, the power plant. Cool. Right now we're heading pretty much straight for exactly what we want to connect to, and then you have this airplane type, like, guiding in, and eventually it's just kind of connected here, and that's your first track. You build track. Cool. There are a couple other things that you can do. For example, if you don't like how fast or slow something was going, what you can do is, I'm going to press Alt, I'll switch my direction backwards, I'm going to hit the power, and if you want to see, there's actually a release here, a brake release, so it is trying to be a real train. There's no real super fast anything if you want to sit on a train, but something that you actually get to do, which I appreciate, and you will abuse it, trust me, is the time scale. We can just go faster. Stuff is going too slow, we're going to go a little faster, like this. Now we can eventually pause. This is the tutorial, so there's a couple more things to show you, and then we're going to jump to the real map and see if we can actually get anything done over there. But our next goal is that shed over there, that industry that sits on that side, and we just have to make sure that we go far enough back where we can actually hit that track that comes off there. And the approximate right place is somewhere over here. It's not super important, you just have to be able to kind of make it work. And I say that because of what I'm going to do next. When you paused, when you stopped, when you actually stopped, you can actually build a turnout, and the turnout is shown right here. When you hover over it, or you can use the keyboard arrows on your keyboard, because they're keyboard arrows, you can go left or right. If you press up, there's going to be a turnout to the right. If you press down, that turnout is released or removed. And if you press down again, you have a turnout to the left. Super simple. Now you have the turnout, and it's already switched so that it goes in the right direction. You could switch it back. Now we would go straight, and now we're going to the left. Or you're turning. The turnout is turning at this point. Once you have that, you need to make sure that your radius is set up semi-reasonable. And the radius is steered by this, depending how fast you want your train to move. You may have to adjust this down the road. I found 380 is usually just fine for the speeds that we want. So that's what we're going to use. If all of this looks fine, we can try to hit the next part. And again, if stuff is a little slow for you, just speed up the time. Great. So this one's going to go out, and it will tell us once it starts laying track where the track is trying to head. That looks good so far. We are trying to head to that thing out there. At some point, we may find that we're turning too far or not far enough, and that means we would have to start adjusting some things. We're already going a little faster than I want, but there we go. Let's steer a little bit. You can steer with the controls down here, but you can also just control everything over on this side on the console. Either is fine. Both feel just fine to control. There are the little dots that we're kind of trying to aim for. That is a part where the game is trying to help you, but don't worry, it's still relatively difficult to angle this upright, because right now we're effectively just trying to connect this on 2 dimensions. The game is played in 3 dimensions because height matters. So if you can figure out how to get on the correct height right away, you already have won most of the battle. You still have to figure out how you're gonna connect all the rest of the pieces. But here you go. We're kind of just sliding into the area, and this part again is relatively simple. And once you feel like you have a good connection, the game is not super picky about how you connect to this. Like, it doesn't have to be the straightest piece of track that you've ever built, but once you see this landing strip behavior, you know that you're heading towards the right direction, and life is good. All right, everything's connected. You got an achievement probably at this point, and life is good. Guess what? The AI train comes out of this shed. There it is, just on cue. And that AI train is driving itself, but you can also drive it if you decide to do so. Let's hop off the train to actually see what's going on here. Hey train, power plant, that's where you want to go. And apparently right now I'm a little bit in the way of you, but the train is coming out, and you are, as far as I understand, you are allowed to drive this train, but I'm assuming that train has to clear the box over here first before we can actually do something. So how about we jump on our train again? Again, the controls are really simple. It never felt like we're doing anything too complicated. It's just a train. Goes backwards a little bit. We're going to speed up time so we can actually start moving. That feels good. Just single. Let's slow down this. And all I really want is show you if we can actually ride the train, because I haven't done that part before. And that's pretty exciting. Cool. So, power down. I do think I want to brake here. We're going to speed this up just to make sure it actually stops relatively fast, and then we can hop over here, slow down our speed, and make sure that we disconnect the stuff. And now we're sitting inside this train, and now we can drive this train if we really wanted to. We don't have to. The AI takes care of all the things, but if you wanted to drive that power plant train, you can do whatever you want. What else can you do? Well, when trains are running around and you're running around, sometimes it may be necessary to, for example, uncouple or couple things together. I haven't had a reason to do that yet, but it is a thing that you can do. There's a speed limit. Cool. You can just say, yep, I want this. Where can we place it? Right there. There's a speed limit of 5. Can we change the speed? Yep, 10, 15, 20, 25, 60, etc., etc. So depending how fast you want to go. Wrong race sign if you need some one-way behavior. Signals. For multiple trains to go through. Cool. And then obviously you can apparently flip a switch if you choose to do so. And let's see, can we actually just remove them? Because I don't think I want to use these guys at this point, but it doesn't even matter. The train will normally just kind of do what it's supposed to do. Why is the switch actually working? Does it actually give me a way to do something here? I don't think so. And I have not seen a way to remove anything that you added yet, so maybe that's something that's still coming, or maybe it's just something that I forgot. Oh, there we go. So if I look at this and remove something, then I'm too far away to do anything right now. That's fine. How about right here? Nope. New speed sign limit. No, I don't want a new one. I want this one to go down. That one to go down as well. And it's like trying to place something there, but I don't really want it to do that at this point. Maybe uncouple does something. No, I don't want that. There we go. Now I was actually able to remove that. So, a little finicky, but you just have to click the bottom of the controls there. And now we have our train. And then once the train is in your way, or you're in the way of the train, depending how you want to look at it, you just try to get out of the way. And we're going to do this as fast as we possibly could. And we're turning here because we can go nice and fast, and that's all good. Alt so we can actually see something, and we're going to head right into that station. And then the tutorial, honestly, we're going to stay here because the next part will tell you everything that you need to know about digging, and the next map is more difficult than you would expect it to be on the second map. So let's hit the brakes pretty hard, get into the station. We're just going to pause here and stop for just a minute, like so. And the train over there is just kind of doing what it's supposed to do. It's going to come all the way out to the end of the switch, and it's going to turn around and go to the coal power plant right back there, and then we're actually going to get paid for that, which is a little bit exciting if you ask me. Okay, you know what the harder part is? That industry out there. You know why? Because there's a mountain. We can't just do the same thing we just did, because we're not going to be on the same level. I've tried it many times and I only made it up the mountain one time so far. So let's see what happens when we do this. First, let's switch direction. Very good. Our grade is currently at 3%. I'm okay with that. This switch is fine, so we can actually start moving. If you want, you can actually turn on removing track. Obviously, you should only do that when you go backwards, but we're not doing that right now. So we're leaving that as it sits here, and then all you have to do is make sure that you hit the right switch. We would like to go right, not this switch, and we can switch this if we wanted to, but the next switch is the one that we actually care about. So let's wait for that one, flip this one, and now we're going to go to the right. So far, so good. The hard part is about to start. Once we get past this exit over here, or this piece of track, we will encounter some different terrain. All right, what does that look like, B-Ball Joe? Just looks like this. We can actually go a little faster if we wanted to. So the industry is all the way up there to the left, but it's much higher than where we are right now. I don't actually know that there's a tool in the game yet, and I wish there was one, that tells me how high I have to go. I can just tell you from failing and trying multiple times that currently it is pretty hard to get all the way up there. So this is a little difficult. You can tell it how high you want the grade to be that you're allowing the train to build, but that goes both uphill and downhill. If you do it wrong, you probably ruin your chance of building the track that you're actually trying to get to here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually currently trying to build downhill, which we don't want. We want to keep going up. I know there's a lot of stuff and dust going on here, but we don't want to dig into the ground. We want to dig up into the ground. So I'm trying to do it so that we'll only keep going up and not going down at all for at least right now. I think I'm doing quite okay, but as you can maybe see, we're actually digging into the mountain. We don't want that. And digging into the mountain does fill up the dirt car in the back. That may sound a little confusing right now, but it does make really good sense down the road, because once your dirt car is full, you actually have to go and empty it. And once your dirt car is empty, you actually cannot build any grades anymore. So I'm actually going to slow down here, because we're all the way down to 8% dirt. We don't have all that much left. And we need to go kind of a little bit to the left here. We just have 5% of dirt left. We may just have enough. We may just have enough to make it up there. You see those icons right there? That's where we're heading to. Okay, slow down. 1%. Oh, we are getting there. I'm looking at the dirt number here. We are just barely getting to this station where we no longer need dirt. We still have to come up a little bit. We're not on the right height yet, so let's increase this to 4%. It never worked this way. I've never been able to do this the right way. I did it one time. I did it one time the wrong way, but this right now is the best approach that I've ever managed to get here. And we're still gonna miss it. We're still gonna miss it a little bit. Let's reduce the radius, so see if we can go a little tighter. I'm pressing the wrong buttons here, but that's okay. This just means trains have to go a little slower. And I'm totally okay with going very slow here, but no, we are kind of... we're so close. We're so close. We're still not on the right height. Though those dots that approach, that is the height that we're actually trying to get to. So I know that we're not quite there yet, but if I just angle this thing with a 4% gradient at the entrance, at the landing strip, hopefully, I am hopeful that we can actually make this work. I'm gonna go to the front to see it a little better. You just press 2 on your keyboard and that gets you there. Looks like we're just off. We don't have a good approach angle here, but we are getting there. We are definitely getting there. Yes, yes, this is gonna work. I'm excited. It should give me the landing strip behavior in just a second. There we go. I swear it has never worked out this way. This is great success, and I'm glad. I am very happy that you got to be part of this. So, what does this mean? We're now connected to this thing. Was it extremely difficult? It took me 3 hours to get to this point. So yes, it was difficult the first time, but that's just how you have to learn it, and I'm probably terrible at this. So there's another train now. So you're probably curious, what happens when you have 2 trains on a network? Oh, I am glad you asked, because we can probably just find out what we're going to see. Let's go back a little faster. And as we have no reason right now to... Probably going a little faster than we need to, even with the quadruple speed. No reason to take any track off, and I don't think we have any ridiculously sharp turns besides at the very beginning, and that is all uphill. It shouldn't be that bad, but you see these little dips that happen along the way. There's a big dip right there. I'm trying to avoid them, but I can't always because of the amount of dirt that I had available. And I'm actually surprised that we did as good as we did. But that train is going to go down here, and when the train goes, And there's the other train over there. When the train goes, you actually make money. How do you know that you make money? You look at your money over there. We have 25,000 currently sitting in the bank. And if we wanted to, we can increase and get some more, really anything you want. And if you want to build some switches, you can. But the AI trains will probably take care of that because we do have... Oh, we derailed. I thought I was going slow enough, but apparently we weren't. Good thing, because now I can show you what happens when you derail. It's not Derail Valley. It's a little different. There is actually a, let's call it, construction crew coming up. Where is it? There you go. Hop off. Alt, so we can see it, and you have this little sign. Caution, re-railing in just 48 seconds. We have that train over there. I know where it's trying to go, so it should be going this way. I'm a little surprised that this friend is not currently, hasn't made it all the way to the power plant yet, but honestly, they generally figure it out just fine. So yeah, got a couple of horn poops, toots, couple horn toots. That's totally what I said. And both trains will actually go into the power plant and figure out what they're trying to do from here. So that's all fine. And then the time it's just real time. So the 48 seconds are up because I already increased the time that we had down here. So that's the game. Yeah, that's an overview. Let me know if you want to see a little more of this, because the game releases, I believe, early September. Thank you to the developers for letting me play with this. Really appreciate it. I saw the trailer and was just like, yes, please. Can I have some of that? That would be super. So yeah, if you want to see more of this, please let me know. I will see if we can beat a couple of the other mats, but this is effectively how you get through the tutorial, and what you have to do there. You can dig as deep and as wide as you would like in this game. It's always just limited by the machinery that you have loaded, and part of the machinery is probably, actually let's do a quick turnout here. Part of the machinery is your... We have to stop to do the burnout. Let's do to the left. Did that work? No, it doesn't like to do it when I use my... when I don't use the keyboard. So let's just do it to the left. There you go. We don't have to make this super exact or pretty. But yeah, it depends on what vehicles you have around. And the big one is the dirt car that sits in the back right there, because again, once that is full, you actually have to put it somewhere else. And ideally you find a cliff for that. So here we go. There's a track again. Apparently I'm still steering. I don't want to steer anymore. I kind of want to just go straight. And for our outro, you're just going to see what happens when we run into a mountain and only allow 1% max rate. Thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciate it. I hope you liked what you saw. Again, if you want me to do more of this, please let me know. But for right now, this is all we're gonna have. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.